Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday. Today we're not going to be working with clay. I have a medical appointment this afternoon. We will continue tomorrow, so don't worry. We're still going to have 5 days to work, so we will go into next week. Friendly reminder on Monday, I graded your 3B paper shoe final documents. So, again, if that didn't get graded and it needs to, please notify me. Or if you got a grade you didn't think you deserved, please speak with me or check the notes in Synergy. So going back to our abstract expressionist project is what we're going to be working on today. If you recall this abstract expressionist practice document, there was one question I didn't have you do, and I crossed it out. We're going to be doing that. So even though it's crossed out, it says you do not need to do. You're still going to use this video as a resource as well as this presentation to complete the steps and then photograph it in here. The majority of you probably already have this turned into Google Classroom, so just unsubmit it and then you can work on it. I have not graded it yet. So for the third and final abstract expressionist activity, you're going to be learning about Joseph Albers. Joseph Albers used various overlapping shapes and mirrored compositions. He focuses on the interaction and relationship of color. Color appears differently depending on the unique situations that they're in. So, for example, if we look at these two images here or collections of shapes, you'll notice that they're all the exact same colors, but they have kind of changed them in different spots. And certain colors appear darker or lighter because of what's surrounding them. So here's a little bit better detail on how that it works. So colors appear differently depending on what they're interacting with. So for example, these two greens are the exact same, but appear differently because of the various greens surrounding them. This green appears a lot darker because it's surrounded by a lighter green, and this green appears a lot lighter because it's surrounded by a darker green. So, or excuse me, I said that backwards. This green seems a lot darker because it's surrounded by lighter, and this seems a lot lighter because it's surrounded by darker. So colors influence each other based on what's surrounding them. Geometric shapes. Albert uses simple geometric shapes to not distract from the interactions of the colors and relationships. In other words, he really wanted you to focus on the colors, so he didn't want to have a lot of really complex shapes. He wanted to use simple shapes so you can really focus again on the color schemes. Mirrored and inverted compositions. So throughout these different examples, you've seen a collection of the exact same shapes, but the colors have been different. So what Albers uses is two mirrored compositions, which means they're exactly the same, but the colors are inverted, which means that they are flipped or different to show the comparison of the images. So again, if we look at this image here, the yellow is in the center, the yellow is on the outside here. The blue is on the outside here, yellow blues on the inside here. So they flipped them or inverted them. So for your art making activity today, you're going to be following all the criteria that we just mentioned. You're going to create an artwork that uses geometric shapes that are overlapping each other. So notice how these shapes are on top of each other. These shapes are overlapping each other. So make sure that you have shapes that are overlapping each other. You're going to use mirrored composition, which means you have two identical collection of shapes and they're exactly the same. Again, the only difference is the color. So all of these examples here have mirrored compositions. So make sure you're using simple geometric shapes. Consistent color scheme. Color scheme that shows how colors appear differently depending on what they're interacting with. So you want to make sure that when you're using your colors, you're using the exact same colors on the top as well as the bottom. You're just orientating them or putting them in a different position or different location. Here are some different examples of different works of Joseph Albers. So you can definitely draw inspiration from them, but I don't want you to copy them exactly. So, for example, if you see this image here, instead of using rectangles, maybe you can use a triangle. Instead of this image here, instead of using squares, maybe you can use a triangle. Okay. Here's some different examples of student artwork from the past. These are poor, these are medium, these are good, and these are great. So strive for the quality that's looking like right here. Um, so please, um, please watch the demonstration video, which is right here, or the demonstration video, which is right here. That's going to explain the art making steps for today. Work hard, have fun, and be creative.